Are you looking to enhance your curl pattern and increase your shrinkage? Well, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that using the microplopping technique and a hair repair towel to improve your overall curl definition and really help to spring up those curls and improve their bounciness. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Gina and here I make videos all about naturally curly hair. I love simplifying things, talking about the science of hair and really helping you all problem solve with your curls. I also wanted to thank Hair Repair for partnering with me for this video. I have used the Hair Repair cotton towels for so long now. I think it's going on like 4 or 5 years. I actually still was using the original towel that I got years ago and it's held up great, and now I've got some new ones to share with you. But Hair Repair makes completely flat weave cotton towels, so there is a completely flat surface on it. There's no fibers that like cling to your curls. So I've even bought Hair Repair towels for friends and family members as gifts. I'm always giving them to everyone and recommending them to everyone no matter what their hair type is, and really have used them for a long time now. So I'm super excited to partner with them for this video and show you all the different ways that you can use this, and especially how you can use it to really increase your curl shrinkage. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we get into the styling routine with all the tips for increasing your curl shrinkage, I just wanted to show you how I prep my hair for styling because it does make a difference. I've already shampooed and conditioned my hair, and after I rinse out my conditioner, I always wrap my hair in my Hair Repair towel. I wrap it very loosely to avoid breakage. You want to avoid twisting your hair super tight because our hair is most fragile when it's wet. The nice thing about the Hair Repair towel is it has a loop in the back, so that way you can put the end of the towel through it to hold it in place while you do your skincare or your makeup routine, and it's really hands-free. The Hair Repair towel is made from a premium 100% combed cotton interlock fabric, which is completely flat on the surface. You want to look for a hair towel that is smooth and flat. This is different than a standard microfiber towel, which has those tiny little fibers that cling to delicate curls and cause a lot of frizz. Here's the texture of it compared to a terry cloth bath towel, which you definitely do not want to be using on your curls because of those longer fibers that cause frizz. It's way too heavy to be wrapping your hair in this and it will cause breakage. If you don't have a hair towel, a t-shirt is a better option than a bath towel because it has a similar flat texture to the Hair Repair towel. However, the Hair Repair towel is more absorbent and the large rectangle shape makes it easier to wrap and plop your hair. I like the damp style, which helps me achieve more volume and fullness. It's a fine line though between soaking wet hair and damp hair because you also don't want to apply your products on hair that's too dry because then it will be stringy and frizzy and you'll struggle to get that curl definition. To achieve the perfect dampness, the hair towel soaks up the excess water on the scalp, but then I spritz the links of my hair with water. So it's not dripping, but it's just evenly wet throughout. And if you hate the feeling of wet hair on your shoulders, you can use the hair towel to wrap around your shoulders so that way you can style upright and you don't have to be bent upside down for a long period of time. Now I'm applying my styling products starting with a curl cream for moisture. And if you're looking to encourage more clumps and just enhance your overall shrinkage, look for a curl cream that contains starch ingredients and proteins. I'm just raking this all throughout my hair evenly. Then I'm going in with a gel which creates definition and provides hold. I prefer using stronghold gels to prevent frizz, and this also helps the curls to last a lot longer. A gel is essential. Stronghold gels are also going to help your curls hold their shape better and longer compared to using light hold gels where the hair might not last much past day 1. The next step is to style the curls. Now this is totally optional, but if you're trying to encourage curl shrinkage and bounce, then you will want to use some type of styling method such as brush styling or finger coiling. I prefer brush styling because it's quick and helps to smooth out frizz. The more clumped curls are, they tend to last a lot longer and it prevents them from being stringy. Avoid creating curl clumps that are too thick or else your curls will droop if they're too heavy and weighed down. So I like to separate mine as I go. Once I'm done styling, it's finally time to microplop. So if you're not already familiar with what microplopping is, it's essentially just scrunching your hair while holding a hair towel. I'm using the Hair Repair towel, which is the same one that I was just using to wrap my hair. It's very multi-purpose. And I'm using a section that's already damp, which will help prevent the towel from soaking up too much of the product in my hair and help to reduce frizz versus going in with a completely dry towel. So when you scrunch, you want to be very gentle and avoid rubbing your curls. To increase the curl definition at your roots and create more root volume, lift the roots up with your opposite hand and then scrunch all the way up.
You can also try the open palm scrunch method if you find that regular scrunching where you squeeze your palm together causes frizz. So there are many different benefits of microplopping, such as increased curl definition, clumping, and reduced dry time. You can see the difference between the side that I scrunched and the side that I have not scrunched yet. Isn't that crazy? So along with increasing shrinkage, microplopping also reduces your dry time because it soaks up that excess water that would take forever to evaporate from our hair otherwise, especially with the very moisturizing curl creams and our hair products that just makes our hair take so long to dry. Also, if you've applied too much styling product, this can also absorb some of that excess too. But if you're someone who likes to style with your hair soaking wet, then you'll definitely want to microplop to soak up that excess water before you go to diffuse or to air dry. If you find that you get frizz after microplopping, just wet your hands and smooth in a little bit of a stronghold gel. This happens for me a lot on problem areas and areas that are just more high porosity and damaged because they can't really hold on to moisture. This will also result in stronger hold because you're layering on gel onto damp hair, and the more water in your hair, the less hold that your gel will give because it gets diluted. If your entire head is high porosity and very damaged, then you want to be very cautious with microplopping. So now it's finally time to diffuse, and this is one of the best ways to increase your curl shrinkage. So I actually like to lay my hair repair towel out over a counter or over my desk and then plop my curls on it and then diffuse for a few minutes like this just by hovering. And this will help prevent frizz, but your curls will still spring up because they are pressed up towards your head over the plop. So this is usually how I will start off my diffusing routine, usually just for a couple minutes, maybe up to 3 to 5 minutes. And then I flip upright and I finish diffusing regularly, but this just allows that gel cast to start to set, so that way I don't get as much frizz when I'm actually scrunch diffusing. Did you know that diffusing safely can actually be better for your hair health compared to air drying for hours on end? I've done a whole video on hygral fatigue that you can check out, linked below if you want to learn more on that. So diffusing helps to set the curl shape into place right away and set your gel cast, which then protects from frizz. And when you air dry, the curls are more elongated just from gravity and the moisture in our hair. And this is why my air dried hair looks so much longer and less defined compared to my diffused results. So diffusing usually only takes me around 10 to 15 minutes and then my hair is done versus air drying for hours and having to go around with it not finished. So once my hair is completely dry, I like to use a little bit of oil just to scrunch out any of the gel cast. You can leave it in if you want your hair to last longer, but if you want a softer look and more volume, definitely scrunch it out. And I also like to flip my head over and then scrunch out the root area and just fluff my roots so I get a lot more volume. And here are my before and after results. Let me know what you think below. And let's talk about some more tips about microplopping and how to increase your shrinkage.
I wanted to compare the microplopping technique to the exact same hair routine, but without doing the microplopping technique, and just compare the differences that I noticed. So for the microplopping routine, overall my diffusing time took about 10 minutes, maybe 12 to 15 with like completely dried hair. Like after scrunching out the cast, sometimes I dry it a little bit more. So not bad at all, and that's with using my regular diffusing routine. Overall, it seems that the curls are just tighter and more enhanced, and I could definitely tell that my hair looks a lot shorter, which is from that shrinkage, that bounciness in the curls. And I also have more hold this time, so it gives you more hold because when you layer on gel on hair that is more on the drier side, like not soaking wet, it's not as diluted, so you get a lot more hold. So I definitely noticed I had way more of a cast with the microplopping routine. And for the routine that I did without microplopping, I used the same products, same styling techniques, same diffusing routine. It took me about 20 to 25 minutes to diffuse my hair. So that's anywhere from a 5 to 10 minute difference, and that's because I didn't absorb that excess water. So I'm trying to get it out with the diffuser, so the diffusing time is going to take a lot longer, and a lot of people find that they need to use a higher heat in order to get their soaking wet hair dry, and then you're just using more heat on your hair that's not necessary. So I personally prefer to absorb it with a hair towel and then diffuse. Overall, my curls look very similar, but I feel like they look a little bit more elongated. Let me know what you guys think in the comments and if you can tell a difference, but it seems that the length is a little bit longer on the routine where I didn't microplop. So if that's something that you're going for and you don't want to increase your shrinkage, then you can definitely skip on the microplopping technique. Maybe you just can kind of like scrunch your hair gently with the hair repair towel, but not really scrunch it all the way up like you're trying to really enhance your curl shrinkage. So that way you can still cut down on your dry time, but you wouldn't increase shrinkage if you don't want that. And I definitely had less hold and more frizz because I didn't use that layering technique with my gel. So that was another major difference. So when I don't do microplopping, I don't need to go in with another layer of gel because I just go straight to diffusing. So I definitely had less hold with the routine that didn't use microplopping. So then I wanted to quickly cover some reasons why I actually prefer to microplop over plopping. Plopping is when you plop your hair basically up on top of your head and tie it with a towel. You can totally do this method if you want with your hair repair towel because it's super large, so it allows for you to easily plop on top of your head. You can tie it different ways. And so it's really convenient because you are hands-free. You can tie your hair up and then go about getting ready. Like you can do your makeup and get dressed and stuff when your hair is up off your neck. And it does somewhat enhance your curls because you are pressing them upwards, but you don't have as much control over how the curls are going to turn out because you can't always control how they lay by the time they get up to the top of your head. So some people might experience like wonky, misshaped curls. But in my opinion, the biggest disadvantage of plopping is it's smushing your wet hair with product into your scalp. And we know that that is not great for our scalp to have product and even more dampness on the scalp, especially if you're gonna be doing this for a long period of time. Like if you leave your hair up in a plop for 30 minutes plus, it's really not great for your scalp. It needs air. Your scalp needs to get dry just like the rest of your hair. You don't wanna leave it wet for a long period of time, but that's just pressing all that product right onto your scalp. So if you're someone that already has a very oily scalp or you're experiencing buildup or flat roots, or if you're not really getting a lot of volume, it could be because of plopping. So maybe try the microplopping technique instead. And microplopping, the advantages of that is obviously the reduced dry time, same thing with plopping, but you have more control over how your curls get enhanced. They don't turn out as wonky. And it also is not getting on your scalp, so you can kind of lean your head to the side and then scrunch with the hair towel so that way it doesn't press the product onto your scalp, so you get a lot more root definition and volume. The one downside is you can get some frizz from this. Anytime you're disturbing your curls while they are wet, you can get some frizz from that. I do in problem areas, but I don't on areas that are very healthy. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Another major advantage of this, in my opinion, is with microplopping, you can go straight to diffusing and then your curls are done. Whereas with plopping, you gotta walk around with your hair in a plop anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes and then diffuse. So to me, that's longer to get to the same result, if that makes sense. I guess you can multitask, but still, it's just longer overall to get to the finished results of your curls. So last but not least, I wanted to share some extra tips for increasing curl shrinkage and some things that you definitely want to keep in mind that don't necessarily have to do with the styling routine. The first one is you want to make sure you don't have any buildup on your hair, because if your hair has buildup from products or hard water minerals, it's really going to be more elongated because that's weighing it down and the curls can't spring up. So make sure you're using a clarifying or chelating shampoo on a regular basis. Also, if your curls are heat damaged or if you have any type of damage to your hair, it's not going to spring up as much. That's why some people have straighter ends, because their ends are still damaged. Maybe they're transitioning from heat styling and straightening every day. If your ends are a lot straighter, it could be because they're damaged and you need a haircut. You have to cut the dead ends off in order to get that shrinkage that you want and the bounciness in your curls. And another thing you can try is using bond builders and protein treatments, especially if you do have damage in your hair, because bond builders help to repair the broken bonds in your hair that are damaged from like brushing, heat styling, bleaching. And when you do that, you'll notice that your curl pattern is just more defined overall, and it really does enhance it. And that's because it is repairing those broken bonds in the hair. Protein treatments are somewhat similar to that, but they don't actually permanently change your hair. They're just adding that protein that helps give it strength and structure. But you will notice usually when you do incorporate products with proteins, whether if it's a deep conditioner or an actual protein treatment, or maybe it's just a gel or a cream that contains protein, you'll notice more defined curls and overall more enhanced of a curl or wave pattern when using protein products. You just don't want to overdo it with these or with bond builders, and always follow up with a deep conditioning treatment that doesn't have protein if you're going to do a protein treatment or a bond building treatment. So I will put the links down below for where you can get the hair repair towels. They're available on Amazon. As I mentioned, there's 2 different sizes. There's black and white, so I'll have everything linked down below for you. I'm also gonna link you to a blog post down below, which includes a summary of everything we talked about here and all of the steps. If you need to refer back to that, you can check that blog post. And if you're still needing more help with overall enhancing your curl pattern, I recommend checking out the video that I've done on how to improve your curl retention. So this really has more to do with the health of your hair. So similarly to what we just talked about with doing bond building treatments and all of that, I show you actually how to improve the health of your hair to encourage that curl retention. So that's the bounce back that you get in your curls. So I'll have that video linked right here on the screen, and I will talk to you over there. Bye everyone.